Welcome to Down the Rabbit Hole, a series where I research pop culture too much so you don't have to. Today, we're going to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog. Let's go down the rabbit hole. Sonic was created to compete with Mario. Early concepts involved a rabbit that could pick things up with his ears named Feel the Rabbit. Eventually they decided on a rolling mechanic, and were stuck between an armadillo or a hedgehog. Sega was worried that Americans wouldn't know what a hedgehog was. One of the programmers incorrectly thought that hedgehogs couldn't swim, so Sonic can't swim. Blue was chosen as a counter to Mario, and to be cool, and also to match the Sega logo. For familiarity, they used Felix the Cat's head, Mickey Mouse's body, the personality based on Bill Clinton, and Michael Jackson's boots, mixed with a splash of Santa. Michael Jackson also wrote the music for Sonic 3, but he was left uncredited and music was reworked after allegations against him came out. There was a disagreement between Japanese and American developers as to what the Doctor's name should be. In Japan, he is known as Dr. Eggman. In English, he is known as Dr. Ivo Robotnik. Since 1999, his official name is Dr. Ivo Eggman Robotnik, with Eggman being a nickname. Other names for him included Bad Wrench, Bad Vibes, Bad Year, Fatty Lobotnik, and in early materials, his name was Ovi Kintobor, which is Ivo Robotnik backwards. He only became evil after being hit from a beam from the Chaos Emeralds. Dr. Eggman was also originally designed as a hero, a caricature of Theodore Roosevelt in pajamas. When Sonic was chosen as the hero, he was redesigned as a villain. In Sonic's original backstory, he was a breakdancer and a leader of a rock band, consisting of a parakeet, a monkey, a rabbit, and a crocodile. He also had a human girlfriend named Madonna. Before he had a name, he was known as Mr. Needlemouse. Most of this information comes from documents called the Sonic Bible, which also establishes Sonic's homeworld as Mobius. According to the player's manual in the Bible, it was Sonic's power sneakers that gave him the ability to run at super speed. They were created by Kintobor, and Sonic only turned blue after running at the speed of light. In the early days, programmers were forbidden from putting credits in the video games, as this was standard practice at the time. So they hid them on the opening screen in black text on a black background. The 4-second Sega intro sound took 1/8 of the entire cartridge. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Sonic and Knuckles were intended to be one video game. The size of the cartridge and the time required to finish the game meant the game needed to be split in half, with Sonic the Hedgehog 3 being the first half, with Sonic and Tails playable, and Sonic and Knuckles having the second half with Sonic and Knuckles playable. However, Sonic and Knuckles did not have save or multiplayer. It did, however, feature lock-on technology, allowing you to plug the two games into each other. When you plugged Sonic 3 into Sonic and Knuckles, it became Sonic the Hedgehog 3 with Knuckles. The entire game would then be playable with all features and with all three characters. It was also the only way to access special stages for collecting all the Chaos Emeralds. If you connected Sonic 2, it would become Knuckles the Echidna in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, making Knuckles a playable character. The first game, however, did not work due to level layout and color palette only consisting of half the colors required for Sonic and Knuckles. Instead, when Sonic or any other older game was inserted, a screen saying "No way" would appear. With a certain button combination, you would be able to access the blue sphere bonus level, with the game data of the cartridge determining the level layout. When played with the original Sonic game, all layout combinations become available. Christian Whitehead was a freelancer who created Retro Engine, a game engine designed to accurately recreate and reproduce Sonic games for modern systems. He created the fan game Retro Sonic in 2007. And in 2009, he created a proof of concept showing an accurate recreation of Sonic CD running on iOS. After years of negotiation, Sega released his Sonic CD port in 2011. The popularity led them to commission ports of Sonic and Sonic 2. And then in 2015, Whitehead presented a prototype for an original Sonic game, eventually releasing in 2017 as Sonic Mania. Sonic's first appearance was as an air freshener in the arcade game Rad Mobile. The Sonic timeline is mainly linear, with Sonic Generations introducing time travel, establishing classic and modern Sonics as being from alternate timelines. For the film Wreck-It Ralph, Nintendo was saying that Bowser was much larger than M. Bison, and Capcom would say that M. Bison and Zangief are much bigger than Dr. Robotnik. And Sega would just respond with, well, Robotnik is a very tall gentleman. In 1993, DiC produced two completely unrelated Sonic cartoons, Sonic the Hedgehog and The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Both versions were voiced by Jaleel White of Steve Urkel fame. He also voiced the character in 1999's Sonic Underground. In 1993, Sonic was the first video game character to have a Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade balloon. But due to strong winds, it crashed into a lamppost, injuring a child and an off-duty police officer. That's it for today's episode. Here's a clue about the next episode. This comic strip features a character who has the most Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade balloons, with 8. The theme music is Danse Macabre, Busy Strings by Kevin MacLeod. You can view the entire video version of this podcast a week after publishing at youtube.com/Bckwrdbbq. That's Bckwrdbbq. You can also check out my other podcast, Spew, Spectrum People Enjoying Wizardry, a Harry Potter Autism podcast, anywhere podcasts are found.